for that. And the next morning, Miss Tammy, one of the ladies in our church that works for the center, calls me and says, Brother David, JB passed away in sleep last night. And then my first thing I thought, Miss Duckworth, was if I had to listen to that lady, he'd be in hell right now. We got to let our obstacles push us to another level. He might not could have talked good. He might not could have put any money in the offering plate. But God can take care of His church. Amen. I was preaching a revival a couple years ago up in North Alabama. And it was Wednesday night. I got through preaching. I got a phone call and said, this Pastor Webb? I said, yes. She said, this is Officer Snow at Jackson Police Department. And I thought, Wednesday night, police is calling me from Jackson, Alabama. That's not good. And she said, Pastor, can you tell me who the bus workers are on your bus tonight? And I said, well, I think I can. I'm not 100% sure what's going on. She said, well, we're going to have to arrest them. And I said, arrest them for what? In the back of my mind, I knew one of them was my boy who had surrendered to preach. And another one was a young man in our church who was going to go to Uganda as a missionary. At the time, he just knew Africa. Now we know he's going to Uganda, but a missionary young man. And I said, what's the problem? And she said, well, they dropped the young lady off on the several blocks from her house, and she got beat up on the way home, and we're going to have to pick them up for child neglect. Man, my heart was in my stomach. I was distraught. I'm thinking my boy's about to go to jail. He's given his life to serve God. He's preaching tonight, by the way. And so I said, well, let me make a phone call and let me find out for sure who was on the bus, and let me call our youth pastor. And I called Brother Daniel. He answers the phone. He said, preacher, I'm already here. He's already at the house. And what the actual story ended up being was we had, at that time, we know better to do this now. Are y'all with me? We had one segment of kids from a neighborhood called Alma, down country kids, and another segment from the city, from the depot, and from Jackson area, and they did not mesh. And one of the young ladies from the Jackson area was running her mouth to one of the boys from the Alma area, and she didn't get beat up on the way home. She got beat up on the church bus. Amen. And he beat the snot out of her, and she deserved it. Somebody say amen right there. And so when they dropped that group of kids off at the home that night, because we run our buses Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night. If the kids want to come, we try to get them in the house of God. But they dropped her off, or dropped the family off, but she stayed on the bus. So they went back around to drop